Alright, I'm going to teach how to get the volts, amps, and watts of a parallel circuit. So here's the circuit, and there's a chart also that I would draw. E stands for volts, I for amps, R for resistance, P for watts, R1, R2, R3, R4, and total at the end. Alright, and 6 volts is our total voltage. So over here at the total, go across on E, right, a 6. Alright. So in a parallel circuit, each branch of the parallel circuit is going to get 6 volts. So that's it. This is going to get 6 volts, and this is going to get 6 volts. Alright. So we need to get the amps through R1 and R2. So volts, 6 volts divided by 80 ohms equals 0.075 amps. So at R1 and R2, put 0.075 on the amps. .075. Alright. For the resistance, you need to go ahead and write down a resistance. Go down to R1, write down 50 ohms. R2 is 30. R3 is 60. R4 is 100. Alright. And then I'm going to go ahead and figure out the total ohms. So in parallel, we have to go, so one branch is 80 ohms total, and the other is 160. So 1 divided by 80 plus 1 divided by 160, 1 divided by 0.01875. So we're looking at 53.33 total ohms. 53.33 goes down there. So now, since I know my total ohms, I can get my total amps. So 6 volts divided by 53.33 ohms equals 0.1125 amps. That's my total amps. Alright. And volts times amps equals watts, so I can get the total watts. 6 times 0.1125 equals 0.675. 0.675 watts. And that goes right there. Alright, so let's go back to R1, and I can get the voltage at R1 now. So volts divided by ohms equals amps. Amps times ohms equals volts. So 50 times 0.075 equals 3.75 volts for R1. 3.75. And then for R2, you go 30 ohms times 0.075 amps equals 2.25 volts. You'll notice that 3.75 plus 2.25 equals your source voltage. It's because that's a series circuit, so the voltage across both of them is going to equal your source voltage. And let's see here, R3 and R4. So I have 6 volts divided by 160 ohms equals 0.0375 amps. So you have to add both of those resistors in series, the 160, and you get 160 ohms, and then you go volts to 6 volts divided by 160 ohms gives you the amps. The amps is going to be the same through both of those. So you can see right there, R3 and R4 amps. And then amps times ohms equals volts. So it's 2.25 volts at R3. And then 100 times 0.0375 equals 3.75 volts at R4. 3.75 plus 2.25 equals our source voltage of 6 volts. Now to get the watts, alright, R1 watts equals volts times amps equals watts. 3.75 times 0.075 equals 0.281. Volts times amps equals watts equals 0.169 watts for R2. Volts times 0.0375 amps equals 0.084 watts for R3. R4 3.75 times 0.0375 equals 0.141 watts at R4. Alright, and goes down there. I wrote it in a pen because it was going to be too much room for those. Anyways, I don't think you can really see it on there. It's not a very good quality video here, but so that's how you figure the volts, amps, and watts. The formula for parallel resistance, when I figured out the total parallel resistance was, I'll write that down right here. Let me see here. I'm gonna find a better place. Alright. 1 divided by 80 plus 1 divided by 160. So that was to get your total parallel resistance. 1 divided by 80 plus 1 divided by 160. 1 divided by that will give you your total ohms. So that's how you figure out a parallel circuit.